Hey, this is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life bringing you the Daily Word for Men. And the word for January 20th, 2025 is leader. Select from all the people some capable, honest men who fear God and hate bribes. Appoint them as leaders over groups of 1,150 and 10. And that is from Exodus 18, verse 20, the NLT. Growing up among 15 other families meant that there were many children to play with. As in all societies, structures started to form, and out of that structure, leaders emerged. One young boy naturally stepping up and leading the other children. His influence was not isolated to his own attributes, but was a larger part of the community. His father was also a leader, whether by imitation or by gift. He naturally filled the role and started to inspire the group. One fine day, the boy decided that the homes where they had lived and played were not enough, and the group ventured to find a new place deep in the woods. He instructed the others on creating new lodging. With input from the group, he delegated tasks and worked alongside his followers, encouraging them as their new village came to fruition. Each day after school and snacks, they would run off to their new habitat to clean, rebuild, and play, acting out little adult lives in the community of children. These experiences led the young boy in life, where he became a captain of his sports team in high school, a youth leader, a workplace manager, and eventually a pastor at a small church. And the question for us is, have you seen leadership bestowed or earned? In what ways does God call you to lead now? I'm having a coffee, Star Trek coffee. Uh, well, I like to revisit Exodus. God is trying to get some kind of order in this band of people that came from Egypt, led by Moses, and he's trying to get them organized and have some kind of authority. This, people were grumbling almost right from the minute they left Egypt that things were too tough. They should have stayed. Why'd they come? Blah, 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 blah. And it even gets more detailed as God gives some of the people gifts to build the Ark of the Covenant later in Exodus. Well, they weren't craftsmen. They were building bricks in Egypt, and they uh, they didn't have the skills like goldsmiths and metallurgists, but God gave them those skills so that he could have the Ark of the Covenant that he wanted and a place to put it. Uh, so that's a nice quote. It brings me back to that. And so, personally, well, when you think of my family structure, I was the second oldest of 10, 8 boys, 2 girls. And very early on, my oldest brother, John, died in a drowning accident, which made me the oldest for, I'll be 75. For 74 years, I was 1 year old when my brother died. And so I became the oldest of the family. And, uh, that kind of dumps leadership responsibilities in you. And it sets up a family dynamic, uh, where everybody thought that I had it easy, especially my youngest brother. And I thought he had it easy because by the time my parents got to the 10th kid, they were pretty relaxed. My mother had Dr. Benjamin Spark books when I was a kid. Do this, do that. She was a young girl. I was born when she was 20, and she had my older brother when she was 18. So she didn't have a lot of experience of being an adult, first of all, and being a mom. But I was thrust into leadership roles, especially, like we had a very small apartment. My mom would say, "Take your younger brother, show him how to shower." So I'd take him to the local boys club, which I was a member of, and take him in, and they love showers instead of a bath because you only fill the bathtub like one or two times for the whole family, and the water got kind of cruddy, and they love the nice fresh hot water at the boys club. So it says, "Have you seen leadership bestowed or earned?" Well, there are several. I was co-captain of the state championship swim team in high school. I was also individually all state. I was I had the honor of being the NEAAU swim champion for 1967. Uh, and when I went to college, I was captain of the swim team. Let's see. When I began to work for the bank, I was immediately put charge as the head of operations, eventually becoming an assistant vice president. And I have a funny story about that. I didn't know. They never told me that I was an assistant vice president. I just had my job, and I went to get a loan from the bank one day, and the lady says to me, "We can't give you a loan." I said, "Why not? I worked here. I worked here 10 years." She says, "Well, you're an officer of the bank." I said, "I'm an officer of the bank?" I said, "No, I'm not. I'm just a worker. I punch in. She says, "Yes, you have the title of assistant vice president." So I didn't even know it. They didn't tell me, but because some other bank, the person on third shift was assistant vice president, they they gave me that title. So I don't know whether it was I don't think it was earned. Uh, in I was magna cum laude, graduating from college when I was in for nursing. I was chosen as the nursing student of the year. I went to Vancouver, Seattle, and Vancouver on a 10-day trip. Uh, in the hospital, because my previous degrees were in mathematics, I was chosen to lead the conversion project to get a system of electronic medical records going in the hospital to represent the nursing department in their particular needs with the EMR. And after I went to the big conference in Vancouver, I gave the keynote address to a nursing conference while I was a student that was held in Rhode Island. I get the hiccups from the coffee again. So I've been in many positions of leadership. Uh, some earned, some bestowed on me. Uh, I'm glad other people show confidence in me. And I always tried to do the best job that I possibly could. And, you know, I guess God doesn't like bribes in this quote. He says, "Fear God and hate bribes." And So I think, yeah, through a process of, my education and my sports ability, I got a few accolades, and I worked hard. I worked very hard for them. There was no skimping in my but the amount of practice. I practically lived in a pool, especially in high school. I lived near the boys' club, so I got there at 6 o'clock. My coach came 6 o'clock, opened the pool, and I'd be swimming. And then at 7 o'clock, took a shower, got dressed, went to class, went to school, helped the athletic director because I was on a swimming scholarship there. They helped him set up his office. All the students met there. They buy candy, soda before class started at 7:50. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, I always tried to be the best that I possibly could be. That was instilled in me and my parents. I was the first one to graduate from high school just by virtue of my age, the first one to go to college, and not the first one to graduate. When we all grew up, my mom went and got a Bachelor of Social Work degree, and she graduated one day before me, which was wonderful. She went on to get her master's in social work and work as a social worker for Head Start for many, many years, retiring at the age of 76. And she really didn't want to retire, but uh, they told her they wanted to make room for younger people, so she took the retirement. So I'm not sure what to get out of that. When you're in the middle of it, you don't really think you're a leader or something. It's something someone voted me into or appointed me to. It's not anything I ran for, but it just kind of naturally came my way. So God bless. Have a safe and holy day, and we will see you tomorrow.